Hello, hello, my beloved waking gods and goddesses. Welcome to Love, Truth, and Beauty. Do-it-yourself spiritual awakening for divine in the flesh. Now with the replays on IGTV at Dakini.kiss, where together we learn how to surf and navigate the ups and downs of the totality of human experience, composing a new earth beyond the limitations of this perception managed reality matrix of five senses, having discovered our true divine creative natures in our true sensual sensorial universe of seven senses, creating formless into form outside of the matrix in the true quantum field creation field universe. Before we get started, please do give this video a thumbs up. Please also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, selecting the all setting so that when I upload videos, the YouTube will let you know. I generally upload Tuesdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Eastern. My name is Maria West, and I am your hostess of the highest, here to download, upload, inspire, and usher you into your bestest and brightest selves, your bestest and brightest light, and inviting you all to open your hearts wider and wider and wider still. Oh my God. Hello, my love bugs. Welcome to Love, Truth, and Beauty, episode 221. And in today's video, we dive into the controversy of 432 Hertz versus the 440 Hertz standard musical tuning. Quite a number of you beauties reached out to me requesting that I disseminate the juicy bits of this topic after last week's epic Blue Collar Mystics Livestream hosted by my dear soul brother Owen Hunt, also known as Bootsy Greenwood, with special guests Brian Larson of my favorite Mettaverse music. We covered many topics, from Rife machine frequency healings to healing energy, sound healing, and Musika. And since we are all about raising our energies and our frequencies and vibrations and quantum jumping our lifelines by waking up and exiting the matrix and entering into our awareness attention centers to compose reality, I would be remiss to not having this upcoming discussion about healing frequencies and the in the matrix distortions and false information regarding these two frequencies, such that you can decide for yourselves. Now, my own story began when I was a very young girl and had just up-leveled my classical piano training with a concert pianist from Deutschland, Anna Franzen, who had a grand piano tuned to 432 Hertz. Now, at the time, I was very young, like maybe 7 at the time. I had zero ideas what this was all about, except that Anna demanded my mother hire the piano tuner of her choice to sync up my Baldwin spinet to my teacher's liking. Now, little did I know that I was delving into a deep controversy regarding Musika. She told me Verdi and Mozart wrote their music based on 432 Hertz. And at the time, I was a Mozart freak, okay? So I had to go there. Now, over the years, I've had several different grand pianos, from an old Steinway to a Bosendorfer to my current mahogany Baldwin Grand. And with each piano, I've requested my various and sundry piano tuners to please tune my beauties to the 432 Hertz tuning. And each time I was refused, often with looks on their faces as if I had 4 heads. Me with 4 heads, yes. So apparently these guys, sorry guys, were ignorant that 432 Hertz is Mother Nature's true healing frequency and vibration. Okay, now at our most basic, my love bugs, we are all energy. Everything is energy, breathing or not. everything is vibrating at its own unique frequency. Some very, very slow, some very, very fast, okay? Now, those of us who love music, we all know this, all right? What is it about music that makes it impossible for some of us to stand still, right? Some music makes us want to bump and grind, you know what I'm talking about, and feel sexy all over. I know that one. I really love that. And why does thrash metal music make some folks want to get uber aggressive? Why does opera music annoy some people? I know it fucking annoys me. What is it about meditation music that calms and heals? What is it about music in the frequency of 432 hertz that makes us feel so relaxed? Okay, music is all vibration, so of course it affects us. Now, certain songs bring us to tears, while others gets us all fired up and inspired to exercise and move our bodies, for instance, rather than stagnating and becoming a couch potato, right? And some music floats us straight into a fucking coma. Now, I create all kinds of different playlists for myself for when I want to enhance my focus, or when I feel sad, or when I want to celebrate feeling happy, and almost every emotion in between. Now, my partner and I, we play certain piano music to enhance our quality of sleep. Music affects more than our psyches, my loves, right? Okay. Now, science has showed us that the effects of music affects our internal functions like blood pressure, heart rate. It can reduce anxiety, uplift depression, calm our nervous system. Now, what most people don't know is how it does this. I mean, what is music made of? Vibrations make all sound. Sound is heard when sound waves, vibrations, pass through our ears. Now, I'm oversimplifying it. Let's just go with it, okay? Sound is measured in frequency, and hertz is the measurement used. Now, the way we feel and how the brain responds when we listen depends on the combination of sound frequencies. Now, in the composition of music, and this is known as frequency response. So this simple theory will help us understand why 432 hertz makes for a better listening experience. So we have to talk about the Schumann Resonance. Now, this is also known as the Earth's heartbeat. And to understand the popularity behind 432 hertz, we must first learn about the Schumann Resonance to explain the number's importance. Okay? Now, the German physicist Winfried Otto Schumann documented the Schumann's resonance in 1952. Okay, now he understood that global electromagnetic resonances exist within the cavity between the Earth's surface and the inner edge of the ionosphere. Okay, now he determined that the frequency of these electromagnetic waves is very low, ranging from 7.83 hertz to 8 hertz. Okay, now the Earth used to resonate at a steady average of 7.83, but in recent years, we've seen a shift towards the average of 8 hertz. This frequency range is referred to as the Earth's heartbeat or vibration. So what's 432 hertz got to do with the Schumann resonance of 7.83 to 8 hertz? Well, okay, musically speaking, the two resonate with each other. Now, here's somewhat simplified explanation of how this came about without too much math. And some of you who know me, you know I'm a math freak, okay? Now, in 1713, a French physicist named Joseph Chevreul, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I don't do French very well, came upon a new concept. Now, instead of tuning music to 440 hertz or other variations, he noted that by placing middle C at 256 hertz, you could create a system where each octave or factor of C lands on an even integer. That is a whole number. So instead of containing awkward decimals, because those awkward decimals, he alluded to make conventional music tuning 440 Hertz not sound as lovely or as rounded as music played at 432 Hertz. So when we tune an instrument to 432 Hertz, we get a C note at 256 Hertz, which, due to its sympathetic resonance of note overtones, will produce another C at precisely 8 Hertz. Now, the frequency of 8 Hertz, which is at the top end of the theta brainwave state, is the brainwave state that makes us feel relaxed but conscious and open to intuitive learning. So 432 Hertz and 8 Hertz are intrinsically linked in this way. Okay, now scientific pitch is also known as the Sevier pitch or Verdi tuning. And this is an absolute concert pitch standard, which is based on middle C, C4, being set to 256 Hertz rather than, get this, the 261.62 Hertz, making it approximately 37.6 lower than the common 440 pitch standard. Okay, now the music theory makes sense. 432 resonates with humans, but why bother tuning to 432 Hertz in the first place? Because it makes more sense from a music theory standpoint and ease. You tune to nice whole numbers and not decimals, which are awkward and cumbersome. All right. Now, however, on a more tribal, earthy, and spiritual level, one would presume it optimal to play music in alignment with our planet, with nature. You would think that, right? We all know that prolonged exposure to specific frequencies can cause us to feel adverse physical effects. Think for the moment about all the frequencies that travel through your brain at this point from our cell phones, Wi-Fi, 5G, 4G, 3G, blah, 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 and 6G coming, radio and microwaves, right? So all those devices transmit at different frequencies. Now, these man-made manufactured inventions are constantly penetrating our brains with different frequencies. I, by the way, have just ordered this beanie to block those because I'm noticing that, you know, I'm online a lot and I've got all kinds of radiation exposures. And I'm noticing some like headaches. Now, is it any wonder that these devices that emit artificial electromagnetic radiation have been linked to my headaches, migraines, even to cancers, depression, insomnia, and even miscarriage, okay? You guys can all go down those rabbit holes. I'm not doing it for you. Also, consider the repelling frequencies and sounds of like a jackhammer, car alarms, a baby crying, someone screaming in pain or in fear, a speaker or microphone feedback, and how about a dental drill? Okay, and then consider the natural frequencies such as birds singing, leaves rustling, rain, a gentle ocean breeze. Now, do these things bother you or comfort you? Now, I know people don't like some bird singing and birds chirping, whatever, you guys. Okay. Now, these everyday vibrations, my friends, are made by Mother Nature, resonate with our own natural being. They have, over the centuries, inspired the creation of instruments. Now, think of wind whistling through a hollow tree, and then consider the creation of the flute or perhaps drums, okay? It makes perfect sense that listening to music tuned to 432 Hertz would make us feel more calm and balanced, but it's in our DNA, my friends. We come from the earth. We are of the earth. We are part of the earth. We are part of the divine. So 440 Hertz versus 432 Hertz, okay? Now, we understand that 432 Hertz is aligned with Mother Nature. So what the fuck? Why isn't all music tuned this way? Now, interestingly enough, there were times that it actually was, and many great composers have lobbied for it, but it didn't become the musical standard, and here's why. Okay, so Verdi's A, 432 Hertz, is named after Giuseppe Verdi, the famous Italian composer. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Verdi, among other musicians like Mozart, tuned their music to this frequency, because it contained feel-good properties that resonated with the audience. Now, Verdi wrote to the Congress of Italian Musicians to have 432 Hertz approved as the standard tuning. Now, subsequently, this was unanimously approved of in 1881 and recommended further by physicist Felix Szilard and the Italian scientist Bartolomeo Graziolandi. However, it wasn't enough, even though this was approved in Italy at the time. The American Federation of Musicians accepted 440 Hertz as the standard pitch in 1917, and it became a worldwide standard in 1953. It seems like a lot of weird shit seems to have gone down around the time of 1917. Okay, go down that rabbit hole. I'm not doing it for you. Now, since, despite the geniuses like Verdi and Mozart and many other great producers and composers agreeing that the frequency of 440 is disharmonic because it has no scientific relationship to the physical laws that govern the universe, the 440 Hertz has stood the test of time. Now, 432 Hertz has a healing history dating back. Many instruments have been tuned to 432 Hertz. The Stradivarius violin, for instance, built throughout the late 17th and early 18th centuries, were all tuned to 432 Hertz and renowned for their superior construction and sound. Now, using a chord tuner, researcher Jamie Buturf, looked into the recordings of Tibetan singing bowls and found that they were tuned to 432 Hertz. Now, here's a really, really cool tidbit about me. I was gifted about 20 years ago a set of Tibetan bowls by a monk, and they are all calibrated to 432 Hertz. Now, oddly enough, I also received a set of crystal bowls a few years later and tuning forks to add to my Tibetan bowl collection, which I, by the way, use for live in-person sound healing and creating healing journeys and meditations. I ended up giving the crystal bowls and tuning forks away because they were calibrated to 440 Hertz and were not a match for the setup that I had. In fact, it sounded actually very weird that when you hit them at the same time, there would be this oscillating kind of weird thing that actually used to hurt my head. Now, additionally, according to international researcher and musician Amanda Bosman, most instruments unearthed from ancient Egyptian and Greek sites were and are tuned to 432 Hertz. Now, indeed, sacred sites from all over the planet are encoded with the geometry and the number 432. So research those rabbit holes, my friends, for yourselves. If you're curious, I've gone long-winded again. Now, Earth's heartbeat frequency vibration uses a theta binaural, I don't know how to say it. What is it? Beats frequency at 7.83 Hertz. Now, this frequency is more commonly known as the heartbeat and pulse of the planet. And how do we know this? Okay, well, as I've said before, the Earth is essentially a gigantic electromagnetic field, which resonates at a natural frequency of 7.83 Hehrtzz on average. So, and this fluctuates. So we already talked about the Schumann Resonance, named after the physicist Dr. Winfried Otto Schumann, who was responsible for doing the math and working out the resonance. Now, when you consider how relaxed you feel when you're out in nature, be that by the sea or walking in the forest, is it any surprise that the Earth's frequency falls into the relaxing theta range? Okay, so you know that we can get away into the middle of nowhere. Some people find that crazy. I tend to like it. Okay, so this frequency is about more than just feeling relaxed and at one with nature and Mother Nature. This frequency has proven health benefits, which again comes as no surprise because nature is intrinsically a healing force. Okay, so Earth, remember, the world is not the planet. The world is the matrix. The planet Earth is a totally different frequency. Now, a research study looked at how 7.83 Hehrtzz frequency affected cancer cells versus other frequencies, and the results were incredible. Okay, so anyways, you can look more into that. Now, in short, this frequency is apparently an anti-carcinogen, and for that alone, it is definitely worth listening to. Now, 432 Hehrtzz, I can't even tell you. I have an app, I'll put the information down in the show notes below, that allows me to convert all my music library music. Okay, now these are the pieces that allow me to do it. Some of them won't allow you to convert it, but I want to invite you to check out that app and see for yourself. Okay, now unfortunately, when you do the research, you're going to find that the internet has been hijacked. As you know, it's been hijacked. And so there are many controlling narratives meant to confuse and distort facts that have this science, all shrouded in mystery and sparking many so-called conspiracy theories. Okay, so it's not surprising that even though the music greats and the ancient societies preferred 432 Hertz, that the US and the UK ignored this and chose 440 Hertz, which was bound to make people suspicious, bringing us to the Rothschild's theory, darling. And I say that because I don't want to flag anything weird, okay? So I'll skim over those deets, and you can, if you are interested, go down those bunny holes for yourself. Now, most theories center on the belief that the 440 Hertz frequency was deliberately adopted by governments, regimes to manipulate and control the masses. Now, over time, it is said to make people lethargic, borderline depressed, unable to think clearly, let alone critically, and therefore easily influenced. Now, it is claimed that in 1910, John Calhoun Deegan, an alleged member of the U.S. Naval Intelligence, was funded by the Rothschilds family to convince the American Federation of Musicians to endorse a standard 440 Hertz tuning for orchestras and concert musicians. Okay, now this was accepted by the U.S. government, as I mentioned, in 1917 and became the International Standard Concert Pitch in 1953. Now, Deegan was supposedly a musician, developed instruments such as the xylophone, vibraphone, organ chimes, aluminum harp, Swiss handbells, and marimba and orchestra bells. Now, it suggested that the Nazi regime use 440 Hertz and experiment with other influential frequencies alongside it, designed to assist in mind control, okay? And Joseph Goebbels, Prime Minister of Propaganda for the Third Reich, yes, whose job was to spread the you know, the message, their message, supposedly directed this mission and apparently used music containing concentrated 440 Hertz frequencies and others to induce fear and hostility in the masses. Now, people listening to this music were essentially prisoners of their own aggressive consciousness. And folks say that there is no noticeable change. I beg to differ, my friends. There is a definitive shift in frequency, and it's no surprise that people report a sense of harmony and calm when listening to music tuned to 432 Hertz. Now, regular listening in this frequency has a reconnecting effect as you gradually return, in my opinion, to the frequency of Mother Earth. Now, despite being forced upon us as a music tuning pitch, 440 Hertz is not in harmony with the frequency of the Earth. And I swear to God, I think it is very disharmonic. Now, could the overexposure to music at 440 Hertz be dumbing us down, making us lazy, even unhappy, and easier to manipulate? Are we just simply out of sync? It may well be why certain types of music cause behavioral issues and intense adversarial emotional reactions in some people. Now, we know that music has healing properties, okay? Music therapists use music, my loves, in order to help restore memory in Alzheimer's patients, improve basic motor skills in stroke victims, manage chronic pain, and significantly improve learning abilities in children, as in the Mozart effect. Remember that? Okay, and we also know that there are many, many talented composers and physicists who advocated for this. Now, music can comfort us, and through brainwave entrainment in many guided meditations available on the YouTube, have the ability to shift the brain into specific states conducive to well-being. Now, for myself, daily, I immerse myself in earth frequencies. And as I mentioned, I have an app on my iPhone that converts my music library to 432 Hertz where it's permitted. And so in my experience, not only do I feel calming effects from listening, but regular listening has, in my opinion, decreased my feelings of stress and anxiety, and in turn promoted natural healing and a deeper connection with Mother Earth. Now, there are many, many 432 Hertz guided meditations on the YouTube, along with other healing frequencies, of which there are many, and you can listen to these guided meditations as an addition to your self-love, self-care routines at any time. So just check all those out. I will include some links in the show notes below. Okay, my honey muddies, that is my long-winded speech. I'm so sorry. I tried to make it quick and I just kind of like went on and on. We will continue to unpack and get more intimate with the new relationship template of the heart-based new humanity and planet Earth residing in the true quantum field, creation field universe. Now, please help me grow this channel by giving this video a thumbs up and leaving a comment in the comments box below or in private. Please share this video with your communities, friends, family members, and on social media platforms you feel would benefit from this content. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, selecting the all settings so that the YouTube will let you know when I upload next. And if you find value, enjoy, or benefit from my content and videos, or at least entertained by them, won't you please consider supporting my work through a donation? My PayPal link is right below, and you can also support my work by buying me a cup of coffee, so to speak, on coffee.com/Dakini Kiss. Okay, now my contact information is below with my link tree that hooks you up with all of my stuff. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me, with your participation and focused attention. I really do appreciate it. So until next time, my love bugs, always act from love, outside of the matrix, from your center screen, composing a new reality, quantum jumping all our lifelines. Let's go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher so that we can all be the love that we are. We can share our love. We can create, make art, make music, make love, and you can all help me repopulate the true quantum field creation field universe. Here's to love, truth, and beauty, my beautiful Wiccan gods and goddesses. Mwah!